In recent years, scientists have discovered that many of the world's most famous ancient sites lie along a straight line. This line, known as a ley line, circles the Earth, and it's not the only one. Take a look at the map of ley lines around the globe to picture it more clearly. One of these ley lines passes through Easter Island, the Egyptian pyramids, the Nazca lines in Peru, Angkor Wat, the ancient Persian capital Persepolis, the ruins of Mohenjo-daro, and even a site that some people believe to be the legendary lost continent of Atlantis. What's truly astonishing is that this mysterious circle connects all of these places with a margin of error of less than 1/10 of a degree of latitude, with the center of the circle located in southeastern Alaska, USA. Today, many people refer to these ley lines as the energy pathways or meridians of the Earth, because these lines pass through ancient structures with extraordinary architecture, along with countless mysteries that neither humans nor modern science have been able to explain. Many people believe they hold a deeper significance. It's well known that the sites along the ley line running through Angkor Wat are considered so remarkable that they could not have been built by the ancient people of our 5,000-year-old civilization. Examples include the geoglyphs on the Nazca Plateau in Peru, the giant stone statues on Easter Island, and the ancient city of Uruk, built by the Sumerians. Scientists have also found evidence suggesting that the pyramids and the Great Sphinx on the Giza Plateau in Egypt show signs of being submerged under seawater for thousands of years, with clear traces of water erosion. This has led to the theory that these monuments must have been built far earlier than 2500 BC. There are even some wild theories suggesting that the pyramids were actually ancient power plants. Theories that are becoming more convincing as more evidence continues to escalate. What's striking is that, compared to the three Great Pyramids on the Giza Plateau, each towering over 100 meters tall, built with remarkable durability and showing signs of seawater erosion, the other Egyptian pyramids are much smaller, poorly constructed, far less durable, and show no evidence of ever being submerged. This has led some researchers to propose that the three Great Pyramids were built by a prehistoric civilization that existed long before our current 5,000-year-old one. Meanwhile, the smaller pyramids may have been mere imitations, constructed by the Egyptians of our era, which in turn created confusion for later generations about the true origins of these monuments. So what does all of this mean? My personal thought is that perhaps Angkor Wat was built not by the Khmer Empire in the 13th century, but by a much older, prehistoric civilization. But is there any credible evidence to support such a claim? Inside Angkor Wat, the carvings show creatures that went extinct millions of years ago. There are also engravings that appear to depict a telescope and even our solar system. How could the stonemasons at that time have known about events that happened millions of years in the past and discoveries that would only come centuries in the future? So the real question remains, who truly built this mysterious temple? Recent findings by a vlogger, who is also a professional archaeologist from India, have provided very compelling evidence, suggesting that, with the technology available 900 years ago, it would have been nearly impossible for the Cambodians to build Angkor Wat. He calculated that to construct Angkor Wat, which covers an area of 1.6 million square meters, would have required at least 10 million cubic meters of stone. Assuming that King Suryavarman II was truly the one who commissioned Angkor Wat, and that workers labored continuously for 12 hours a day over the course of 37 years, the total building time would amount to 9,723,600 minutes. That means, on average, 1 ton of stone would have had to be quarried transported, and set in place every single minute. The Red Sandstone Quarry at Kulin, about 80 kilometers away from Angkor Wat, is considered the main source of the stone used for construction. But it's easy to see that extracting a ton of stone, moving it 80 kilometers, then carving, shaping, and assembling it all within just 1 minute would have been absolutely impossible even with today's technology. Even if King Suryavarman II had mobilized 1,000 groups of workers, completing all the necessary steps to quarry, transport, and assemble just 1 ton of stone within 1,000 minutes, roughly 17 hours, would still have been nearly impossible with the primitive technology available in Cambodia 900 years ago. So how could people have moved massive sandstone, blocks weighing up to 1.5 tons each, and completed the vast Angkor Wat temple complex in just 35 years? That question has puzzled researchers for decades. Today, thanks to satellite imaging, scientists have uncovered critical evidence. Satellite photos reveal the 32-kilometer-long canal cutting across the Cambodian kingdom, believed to have been used for transporting the giant stones. Researchers explained that these canals were specifically dug for the movement of building materials. Compared to overland routes, waterways would have saved enormous amounts of time, making them the most efficient transportation network available. This discovery shows just how systematic and effective the ancient Khmer were in constructing Angkor Wat. Further studies of satellite images around the Angkor Wat complex revealed traces of canals running directly from quarry sites to the temple grounds. When researchers conducted field surveys, they found that some sections of these canals still contained water, while many others had dried up, disappeared with time, or become overgrown by dense forest. The survey team also discovered large, neatly cut stone blocks at various locations along the canal. These may have fallen into the water during transport or been left on the banks for unknown reasons. The canal network stretches from the quarries in Panam Kulin, where archaeologists confirmed that this exact type of sandstone was used to build Angkor Wat. Along these routes, archaeologists identified an additional 50 quarry sites. Previously, experts believed that the massive sandstone blocks were transported overland from Mount Kulin to a river leading into Tonle Sap Lake. From there, they were thought to have been carried by boat along the Krap River, and finally hauled up to the construction sites in the ancient capital of Angkor, Thom. However, the new discoveries reveal a much more efficient transportation system. These canals would have significantly reduced the time required to build such monumental structures, not only Angkor Wat, but the entire Angkor complex. Professors Itsuo Ukeda and Ichita Shimoda estimated that digging the canals would have taken only a few years, after which boats could transport the stone directly. Thanks to this waterway system, workers no longer had to struggle upstream along the Krap River. The result was faster, easier, and far more effective stone transport. This is why the ancient Khmer were able to move an astonishing 5 million tons of sandstone in just 35 years, rather than taking centuries. Isn't that convincing? We still believe that the Khmer were the true builders of Angkor Wat. But the following evidence might just change your mind. When we look closely at the carvings of deities on the structures of Angkor Wat, the difference is striking. The stone pillars from the reign of King Suryavarman II feature beautifully sculpted divine figures, with joints between the blocks crafted with incredible precision. In contrast, the Buddha statues carved later during the reign of King Jayavarman VII appear rough, uneven, and poorly finished. Why would the craftsmanship of 2 generations, separated by only a few decades, be worlds apart? If the technology had been lost, such a decline would normally take hundreds, even thousands of years, not just a single lifetime. Within the Angkor Wat complex, there even exists a small stone tower built with poor workmanship, completely out of proportion in scale, technique, durability, and aesthetics compared to the rest of the site. Meanwhile, Angkor Thom is far more ruined and its architecture clearly inferior. This has led some researchers to suggest that the cruder, less durable structures were indeed the work of the Cambodians 900 years ago, while the grand masterpiece of Angkor Wat itself might not have been their creation at all. If both were built in the same era, the gap in quality would never be so vast. And as we mentioned at the beginning of this video, it's hard to imagine that someone capable of creating one of the greatest monuments in human history would leave behind nothing more than a single, rather unimpressive bas-relief as their only claim to fame. At one of the temples in Angkor Wat, there is a carving depicting the battle between the god Vishnu and the god Indra. Researcher Braven Mohan discovered a striking detail: a figure on Indra's side holding a strange object aimed at Vishnu. That object has been identified as a telescope. But according to modern science, the telescope was not invented until 1609 by Galileo, just over 400 years ago. So how could the ancient Cambodians possibly have used such a device 900 years earlier? Unless, of course, they had their own time machine hidden away to explore mysteries far beyond our imagination. That theory, of course, sounds even harder to believe. What makes this discovery even stranger is that Braven Mohan also identified a similar carving at the Kailasa temple in India, which is believed to have been built in the 12th century. There too, a battle scene between two gods shows a figure using a telescope to observe the fight. Both temples' massive, intricately carved stone structures were supposedly constructed in the same century, in two completely different countries, yet both contain depictions of the same impossible object. For scientists today, this raises an unsettling question. How could two distant civilizations, with no known connection, create such identical imagery? Is it really just coincidence, or could it be something far more mysterious? But that's not even the strangest discovery. On one of the stone walls of Angkor Wat, Braven Mohan identified a carving of a four-tusked elephant. This was, in fact, a real animal species that went extinct. A fossilized skeleton of this creature was uncovered in Indonesia and is now displayed at the country's National Museum. So here's the mystery. 900 years ago, long before archaeology even existed, how could Khmer stone carvers possibly have known about an animal that had vanished from the earth millions of years early? Angkor Wat is the only temple in Cambodia with its main entrance facing west toward the setting sun. This unique orientation creates a majestic, almost otherworldly experience for anyone walking into the temple, as the massive structure glows against the blinding light of the sun, especially at sunset. Even more mysterious is what happens twice a year. On the equinoxes March 20th and September 20th, on these exact days, visitors can witness a breathtaking phenomenon. The sun rises in March or sets in September, perfectly aligned with the central tower of Angkor Wat when viewed from the temple's main entrance. This alignment occurs only on those 2 days of the year. If it were just coincidence, it wouldn't happen so precisely year after year. So how could the Khmer people, 900 years ago, have calculated the equinoxes with such astonishing accuracy to design Angkor Wat in perfect harmony with the cosmos? At another temple, there is a carving showing the Hindu sun god seated in the center, with 9 figures sitting below him in prayer. Could this mean that the true builders of these temples were actually depicting the solar system with the sun surrounded by the 9 major planets? Here's the mystery. Neptune was only discovered about 400 years ago by Galileo Galilei, and Pluto wasn't discovered until 1930. Both are invisible to the naked eye, only detectable through telescopes. So how could stone carvers in Cambodia 900 years ago have possessed such precise astronomical knowledge? How could they have possibly observed planets that even modern scientists couldn't detect without advanced technology? Knowledge like this far exceeds what humans in the 8th or 9th century should have been capable of. Could it be that there was once a highly advanced civilization, perhaps even more advanced than our own, that revealed such truths? Or could it be evidence of contact with beings not from this world? In 2007, an international team of researchers used satellite imagery and other modern techniques to conclude that the Angkor complex was once the center of the largest pre-industrial city in the world. This city had an incredibly sophisticated infrastructure system, connecting an urban sprawl of 1,000 to 3,000 square kilometers with the famous temples at its core. It is considered a hydraulic city with an advanced water management network designed to systematically stabilize, store, and distribute water for agriculture and daily life, supporting a population estimated between 750,000 and 1 million people. If such a city truly existed around the year 1100, then the Khmer Empire must have been the most powerful civilization on Earth. Its legacy should have lasted until today, but clearly it has not. This raises the possibility that the so-called pre-industrial city may, in fact, have been a prehistoric metropolis built by a civilization long before our own 5,000-year-old history. So who then were the true builders of Angkor Wat? That question remains unsolved. It is very possible that parts of Angkor Thom were also prehistoric structures, while the Khmer kings later added their own temples of lower quality and durability, making it difficult for future generations to distinguish fact from legend. The mystery of Angkor Wat is reminiscent of the pyramids of Egypt. Time erodes, stone, dust buries history, and great truths may remain hidden. Yet Angkor Wat stands as an exception. Despite the storms of history, the fall of empires, and the passage of countless centuries, this colossal monument still towers silently, as if guarding a secret that binds it to the cosmos. Whoever built it, Angkor Wat now belongs to the people of this planet. And if one day the truth about its origins is revealed, it could change the course of human history forever. Do you believe that Angkor Wat, the greatest archaeological treasure of our time, could be the work of a civilization not of this earth? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And for now, thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode of Mystery World Explorer.